Hello and good morning friends, welcome to the CEC Reset Live lecture. Dear friends, as you know that we are celebrating Digital India Week, and from 1st July it has started and we would be celebrating it till July 7. But dear friends, to celebrate a particular day or week, we are believed that we tend to follow each day and work maximum every day and make every day special. So dear friends, as we are celebrating this week, I would pledge and I would like you to pledge that we are going to celebrate it as not a week but as entire day, every day throughout the year and from years to years. Dear friends, as you know that on this Digital India Week mission, as we are celebrating it, we have numerous plans, numerous policies, numerous programs which are going to be launched soon, and e-education is one of the proposed theme, but in this regard CEC playing a crucial role and vital role since many years. Dear friends, I would like to tell you all that we have e-content on almost 8 subjects for UG students, as well as we have digital repository, and through live streaming, that is through our live lectures, we reaches you. So I hope that we are playing a crucial role and it is very beneficial for you. So taking this lecture forward, I would like to tell you all that today in this session we are going to talk on JIT. JIT is the topic on which we have conducted numerous sessions. So this session is also in continuation with the previous one, and today we are going to discuss on different forms of JIT, and for this we have again with us in our studios Dr. Subhash Kakkad. As you know that Dr. Subhash Kakkad, through this EdReset platform, disseminate information, knowledge, as well as his experience. Dr. Subhash Kakkad has immense experience in the field of academics. He visits various institutions as a lecturer, as well as he conducts various workshops and seminars with the help of which he disseminates information to the students. So I hope that his experience would be beneficial for us. So let's talk about JIT more and let's understand about the different forms of JIT. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Subhash Kakkad. Dr. Kakkad, welcome once again.
Thank you, Gitika, and welcome viewers. Viewers, as you know that we are carrying a series of lectures on operations management. It is one of the subjects in the management education. Under this subject, we picked up a topic, JIT, and now we started delivering lectures on this particular topic so that viewers are able to understand the meaning, concept and implementation techniques of JIT, so that they are able to get maximum benefits in their specific organizations, whether they are working in manufacturing industry or they are working in service industry. They should be able to implement and get the maximum results. And today we will discuss different forms of JIT. When we started the series on JIT, we gave the concept of JIT, what does it mean and what is the understanding lying behind it, and what are the success factors which must be taken care of to get maximum results from the implementation of JIT. We should be able to implement JIT and without disturbing our existing system. When we started it, we said JIT is nothing but just in time, and it has the same meaning as lean manufacturing or lean operations. Lean manufacturing and JIT are the two terms which are used interchangeably. So meaning of lean operations and lean manufacturing is same as just in time. When we say that something is lean, when we talk about our own body, a lean body, it means it is without fats. When we remove the fats from our body, we become lean. And in similar context, if we remove the fats from our organization, then our organization becomes lean. Or in other words, if we remove the fats from the operations, in the organization, then our operations become lean. But what are these fats present in the organization? We have already discussed these fats which are present in the organization and how these fats are removed. All the wastes generated in the organization are all fats, and we have to get rid of all the wastes and different types of waste. We discussed 7 different types of waste, and we also discussed how to remove this waste from the organization. I will give you one example of this waste. Inventory is a fat, is a type of waste, and we should get rid of extra inventory as soon as possible. And this inventory is in the form of raw material, semi-finished products, WIP, work in process inventory, and the finished product inventory. So, if we remove the inventory of all these types, our organization will be free from inventory, and this inventory is a waste, because lot of funds are blocked if we keep the inventory. For keeping the inventory, we require space also, we require bins also for storing the items, and these items, when these are stored for years, they become obsolete also, and they deteriorate also, and they lose their life also. Moreover, to keep them in stock, we have to maintain certain conditions under which these can be kept, and again this is extra money required to maintain the conditions so that they can be stored properly. So, again this is a fat. This is one of the fats we should be getting rid of it. This is one sort of wastage also. If we produce extra than what is required, this is also a waste, because the extra will be of no use. Again, extra produced will have to be kept somewhere in the inventory or in the store. And similarly, if we put more labor on the job than what is required, this is again a waste. So, all these waste we should get rid of, and this is through lean operations. Just in time, again we talk about supplies. We get the supplies from suppliers, from the different vendors. Normal practice is that keep something in the stock. Whatever is required, it is ordered, it is received after waiting for the lead time. When the items are received, these are kept in the stores. But the JIT has a totally different meaning. Whatever is ordered, it should be received at the shop floor, and the moment it is received, it should be issued to the shop floor people and should be used immediately. Today we will discuss different forms of JIT and what are these forms, what is the use of different forms, and how we get different benefits out of using the different forms. So, today we will devote time on understanding the different forms of JIT, just in time, lean operations, lean manufacturing. We have already discussed JIT and its success factors. I will just remind you, and these success factors were product design. We design the product in such a way that we can have JIT process implemented without any problem, and product design should not be an hindrance in implementing JIT, and such should be the design, so that we can implement JIT and we can get the benefits of JIT. Process design should also be such that a limited efforts are required to produce the desired product. When I say limited, it means no additional, no extra processes which do not add value to the product are used, and this is done carefully, mapping the process, seeing it carefully, seeing it logically. Whatever extra unneeded operation is there, that should be removed from the process, and this is done through process mapping. Next is personnel organizational elements. The manpower required to carry out the job as per the product design and as per the process design should be the minimum. Whatever is required and the exact amount should be provided, no more, no less than that, and if we are able to do that, it means we are going to implement JIT. If we are putting in extra labor than what is required, then we are wasting manpower, and this wastage of manpower will not only increase the funds required, but also decrease the morale of the employees working in the organization. If we are working efficiently, if we are producing the products with great productivity, then the morale of the employees is enhanced and they give output what is we can never thought of. And then manufacturing, planning and control, it is also part of JIT. An extra effort is required for controlling the process, so that we are implementing JIT concept and JIT techniques. When I say process control, we have already discussed push system and pull system of production. Pull system is through MRP. MRP we discussed MRP 1 and MRP 2. MRP 1 is material requirement planning and MRP 2 is manufacturing resource planning. At the initial stage, we had only MRP 1 and that was MRP, material requirement planning. But as the process is enlarged and the operations become big and big, then we thought of the need of manufacturing resources also, and we made manufacturing resources part of the operations management, and this is MRP and we called it MRP 2, manufacturing resources planning, and the things or the functional areas other than the operations department were also included, and these are like finance department, engineering department, purchase department, these were included as manufacturing resources, and MRP 2 was introduced, and MRP 2 is not replacing MRP 1, but it is in addition to MRP 1, and this is MRP is with respect to pull system, but we should talk about push system also, which is part of our JIT system. In JIT system, we implement push system. Push system is that the demand pushes the material through the organization. The customer gives a demand for the product and he picks up the material from the last stage of production, that is from the last work center. When the things are taken from the last work center, this work center asks for the things from the previous work center, which is previous to last work center, and similarly, and the chain reaction moves till end, and the end point is the starting point, which is the raw material. So, raw material is picked by the work center, it goes to the process and it goes to the next work center, it goes to the next work center, and finally, it goes to the final stage of production, and from the final stage of production it goes to the customer, and this is pull system. Pull system means the things are being pulled from the previous work center, and in pull system we say that JIT is just in time is using pull system. In pull system, no inventory is maintained. Inventory level is 0, whether we talk of raw material inventory, whether we talk of semi-finished products or work in process or finished product, inventory is kept at 0 level, and this is through implementation of pull system. Supplier relationships, supplier network, and utmost and great importance is given to the supplier network and the supplier relationships. SRM is given a due thought while implementing JIT, because we need to have a very good relation with the supplier, because supplier is the backbone of the JIT system, Without the supplier, it cannot move, because the supplier is a person who is controlling the inventory in his own premises. So, sometimes he works along with the operation people as business partner. So, we have to give due importance to the relations we maintain with the suppliers. Preventive maintenance. This preventive maintenance is also very important when we are implementing JIT, and this is different to traditional method. In traditional method, we may ignore the use of preventive maintenance, but in JIT we cannot ignore the use of preventive maintenance. We have to adhere to the preventive maintenance schedules, and these schedules are properly made and planned and implemented, and these are equipment preventive maintenance schedules, and the maintenance should be carried out on the equipment as per the schedules made, and nothing should slip also. If something slips on the maintenance part, the machines will break down and the production will be lost. If the production is lost, the benefit and the concept of JIT is lost. So, we will not get the benefit of JIT if we are ignoring preventive maintenance in the organization. In preventive maintenance, depending upon the frequency of breakdowns, the frequency of preventive maintenance is decided, and the parts required for carrying out the preventive maintenance are scheduled and ordered and received before starting the preventive maintenance. And before starting the preventive maintenance on the equipment, history card is prepared for the equipment. All the history is written in the history card, and before starting the preventive maintenance, we go through the history of the equipment. We see what has happened through the operations of the equipment, what exactly is required to be carried out during the preventive maintenance time. All those things which are written in the history card as remarks are attended to during the preventive maintenance, and the equipment is brought to the level of production where it gives highest productivity as per the original equipment manufacturer. So, things are kept at the proper level of production, so that proper utilities are used by the equipment, proper productivity is given, and the proper quality of the product is given, and this is through preventive maintenance, and this preventive maintenance is part of JIT, and this is called total preventive maintenance. Process design with product design. When we talk about product design, we have to take into account the process design also. There are so many different processes available, and but we have to choose that kind of the process for manufacturing of the product which is suited for JIT operation in the organization. A specific process which is suitable for the JIT should be selected, and production should be carried out as per that selected process. Standard product configuration and standard parts be used. If the standard parts are not used, we will have to wait more to procure them, because these are non-standard parts. Non-standard parts require more time to manufacture. If standard parts are used, these are easily procured. Reduced number of parts, and these are all success factors we are considering. All these success factors make JIT implementation a great success. And now, reduced number of parts. If we have less number of parts, less efforts are required for their procurement and finally for their assembly also. So, concept should be kept in mind that the number of parts to be used are less. Modular design. We should prefer the modular design all the times. All the assemblies should be carried out in the modules form. One module added to the other module, and the modules again can be prepared in different designs. Whatever is the requirement of the customer, that particular module should be assembled in the product, so the customer is satisfied. Concurrent engineering. One more important thing is concurrent engineering concept should be implemented when we are carrying out JIT implementation. Concurrent engineering is that simultaneously people of all the functional areas should be working. Like marketing department gives the features to be incorporated in the product because they are in contact with the customers. They know the customer requirements, and those features which are required by the customer should be there in the design of the product. So, marketing department, design department, prototype department and then manufacturing department, they should work together, because if we are using the traditional method, a lot of time is wasted in waiting for the decisions of different functional areas. But if they are sitting together, they decide about the product and their problems, and those problems can be solved also with the teamwork. And this concurrent engineering concept should be used, because everyone should be working in a team, and we should be using QFD, quality function deployment, house of quality, for launching of new product or adding on different new features in the existing product. So, all these methods reduce the launching time of the product if we use concurrent engineering, QFD and house of quality. Highly capable production system, we should have highly productive production system where we have the highest productivity and highest efficiency. Small lot sizes. Why we prefer small lot sizes? Because if the lot size of production is small, we will have to have very small inventory. If it is big, then it is uncontrollable and the inventory level is also very high. Our concept is to keep the inventory level at a minimum, and we can do that only if we have a very small lot size. Say if we have lot size of 1 number, that is most preferred. Setup time reduction. This setup time should be minimum. What is the setup time? Say for example, in a soft drink industry which is running at a 500 ml bottle filling, they want to go in for 2-liter bottle filling. From 500 ml to 2-liter bottle, changes are required, and this is required and some time is required for making changes, and this is called setup time. It is from last bottle of production of 500 ml and the first bottle of production of 2 liter, and the time gap between this is called setup time. And this setup time we want to reduce it to the minimum level. Sometimes we use the concept of SMED, single minute exchange of dies. SMED is single minute exchange of dies. So, this setup should be as low as possible, so that without wasting time our entire machine is converted to the new setup. So, this is what? Reducing the setup time. Cellular layout. As far as possible, in JIT concept we should be using cellular layouts in the forms of cells and group technology. Reduced inventories. Limited WIP should be there. Our process selection should be such that WIP is also kept to the minimum level. Continuous quality improvement. Here again, continuous improvement should be given the utmost importance. Every stage, every time, improvement should be asked for, whether it is small thing, whether it is big thing, whether it is small operation, whether it is a big operation, we should always be thinking about its improvement. And improvement can also be implemented in the form of kaizens. Kaizens are nothing but small modifications done by the workers themselves. If the worker is facing any problem and he finds a solution to that problem, he implements that solution himself, then this is called Kaizen, and this Kaizen implementation should be encouraged in the company. And with respect to quality, workers should be encouraged to give ideas regarding improving the quality of the product and improving the quality of the process. If such is the case, I think we will be implementing JIT truly. Production flexibility, multifunctional workers, general purpose machines. Production flexibility should also be given utmost importance while implementing JIT. It is in two forms. One is functional flexibility in the worker's job, and then general purpose machines means flexibility in the use of machines. A machine should be such that a number of designs of the product can be made, can be manufactured on that particular machine. And the worker should also be multi-skilled trained, so that one worker is able to do a number of jobs. So, this is the flexibility of the manpower, and the flexibility of the machines or the equipment should also be given importance in designing. When we talk about multi-skilling, each one worker should have at least 2 or 3 skills on which a proper training should be given to him depending on the training needs of the worker. And finally, after giving them the training, we should see the training impact, whether the training has given any benefit to the worker or not, that should also be seen. When this is there, we have flexible manpower, we have flexible machines, then it means truly we are able to implement JIT. Balanced system, we should see that the process design is such that we follow the balanced system. The line balancing concept should be used. All the work center should be fully and equally loaded, so that their idle time is minimum. When we are able to maintain the idle time to its minimum level, it means we are able to implement line balancing technique. If line balancing technique is implemented, then it means we are having the minimum idle time, which is again the requirement of JIT implementation in the organization, because no wastage of equipment, no wastage of manpower is there, they are not sitting idle. So, truly we are able to implement JIT when line balancing technique is used. Fail-safe methods, poka-yoke, our processes should be fail-safe, our product design should be fail-safe. If mistakes cannot occur, then it means we are able to implement poka-yoke also. If poka-yoke is implemented, again this is in a process in line with JIT concept. Small lot sizes, and these require less space and capital investment. Lot size is less inventory is required, less money will be required, less money will be blocked, then truly we are able to implement JIT. Moves processes closer together, all the processes should work together, they should be close to each other, makes quality problems easier to detect. When JIT is there, when we have a low inventory maintained, all the problems will be visible. Then problems are visible, we will find a solution to the problem. Having extra inventory will hide the problems. So, we will not be able to see the problems, then we will not be able to implement the solutions. If the inventory level is low, the hidden problems will be known to us, and these will be visible, and when visible problems are there, we are able to find the solution to the problems also. Makes processes more dependent on each other, each and every process should be dependent on each other, then it means we are able to implement JIT in true sense. Transitioning to a JIT system, traditional system is there and we are going to have JIT system, and this transition, how it is to be handled, we are going to discuss right now. The foremost important thing to be present in the organization is get top management commitment. There should be help from the top management, there should be commitment from the top management. If top management commitment is there, then anything can be implemented in the organization, and we are going to implement JIT, and this will be done through the help of top management, and we must seek the commitment of top management. Decide which parts need most effort. So, looking at the product design and looking at the process design, which element of the product, which element of the process is very important or which can give us the problem, that should be seen carefully, logically, and a lot of efforts be made so that these should not become the problem area in future. Obtain support of workers. There should be support from workers also, and this is only possible if we involve them in all our activities regarding JIT. First, we must give them the awareness training regarding JIT and lean manufacturing. Each and every worker working in the organization must know the concept of JIT, what exactly is meant by JIT, what are the requirements of JIT, how it is going to be implemented, and that should be known to the workers. If things are known to the workers, they will contribute more towards the efficiency of the organization and giving the productivity to the organization. So, awareness training and then specific training on the job should be provided to the worker, so that we are able to implement JIT in its true sense. Start by trying to reduce setup times. The first and the foremost and the most important thing to be taken care of is setup times. We should attack the setup times. We should be able to reduce them, and sometimes it is possible to make them just 10%. If we are able to do that, we have achieved a lot in the JIT. Gradually convert operations, then finally we have to see that where exactly changes are possible and what changes are required. We should plan them thoroughly and then gradually change them from traditional to the JIT system. If we are doing it slowly and logically, then we are able to implement JIT in true sense. Otherwise, we will fall back also. We will not be able to implement JIT, we will have to go to the traditional method of production. Convert suppliers to JIT. Already in the traditional way, we are having the traditional suppliers, which take lot of time in supplying the materials. On the other hand, JIT suppliers, they know that what is the importance of the product, what is the importance of the supply of their material at the right time and of the right quality. If things are delayed, entire production lot will get delayed. So, they know the importance of deliveries and they work with the operations team as business partners, and sometimes their representative is available at the shop floor all the time till the production is going on, and they take care of all the supplies with lot of care. Prepare for obstacles. These obstacles can be seen before implementing JIT. If we are able to visualize these obstacles, we can find the solution to these obstacles also. And these obstacles should be removed before starting the implementation of JIT. And second part is, when JIT is being implemented and we observe more obstacles, and those obstacles should be removed immediately with the help of operations team and with the help of suppliers. If we are able to do that, then we are able to implement JIT, lean manufacturing, and we can keep our operations lean. Obstacles to conversion. What is the transitioning process and what sort of obstacles do come in changeover time? These are management may not be committed. The first and foremost point we have emphasized, the top management commitment. If the top management commitment is missing, then it is a great obstacle in implementing JIT, because the resources will not be provided by the top management. If resources are not available, then implementation is not possible. So, this can be a obstacle in implementing JIT. So, top management commitment can be one of the obstacles. Workers management may not be cooperative. Workers may not be cooperative with the management team. The best solution for this obstacle is involve workers from the beginning, give them awareness training and train them on the JIT techniques and concepts, give them specific on the job training, give them PBT, performance based training and OJT on the job training. Both sort of trainings be provided, then JIT implementation is going to be a great success. May be difficult to change company culture. We should understand the traditional company culture operating in the organization. JIT culture is a different culture and we should be able to introduce this change in culture slowly and then thoroughly, so that finally we are able to implement JIT in its true sense. Suppliers may resist. Why? It is an obvious reason. Suppliers who are following the traditional method will resist the JIT system of operations, because suppliers ought to remain on toes all the time for supplying of the material on time and as far as of quality. So, suppliers are to be more vigilant, but some of the suppliers may deny to be vigilant because they do not want to change their traditional methods. So, a culture change is also required in the habits of suppliers. Suppliers may resist JIT, unwilling to commit resources. Suppliers may resist commitment on the part of their resources, uneasy about long term commitments. They may not be able to give long term commitments of supplies of material at the present rates. So, this can be an obstacle. Frequent small deliveries may be difficult, because in JIT we want the lot size should be minimum. When the lot size is minimum, then the supplies are also of low level. Low quantities are required from the suppliers. Sometimes the suppliers may resist in supplying the items in low quantities. Burden of quality control shifts to supplier, and this system JIT we are shifting the quality problems to the suppliers, because the suppliers are the people who can give us the quality products and who can also have the quality problems, and they are to find the solution, but sometimes they may resist in doing so. Frequent engineering changes may cause JIT changes also. So, these are the problems which suppliers may resist, and we have to take care of these problems with the suppliers. Benefits of JIT: reduced inventory, improved quality, lower costs, reduced space requirements. These are all benefits of implementing JIT. Reduced lead times, increased productivity, increased efficiency, and these are the benefits which we get from JIT implementation. And the greater flexibility in the product design, in the process design, in the quantity to be produced. We enjoy the flexibility if we implement JIT in true sense. Reduce scrap and rework. Scrap is reduced to a minimum level, and the concept of reworking of the products is also zero. No rework is required if JIT is implemented in the organization. Better relations with supplier. Relations are improved by simplified scheduling and control activities. Schedules are simpler, schedules are simple to implement also, and the control activities are easier to maintain. Increased capacity. With JIT implementation, we get increase in the capacity of the process and of the shop floor people. Increased equipment utilization is there, better use of human resources. The productivity of manpower is also increased along with the productivity of the machines, because the better utilization of manpower is there, better utilization of equipment is there. more product variety can be produced in the limited space. Reduced need for indirect labor. What is indirect labor? The supervision cost is also reduced. Less supervision is required if JIT is implemented. Direct labor is reduced, indirect labor is reduced, quality is improved, flexibility is high. So, all these are the benefits from implementing JIT. JIT in services, we implement JIT in services also. The basic goal of the demand flow technology in the service organization is to provide optimum response to the customer with the highest quality service and lowest possible cost. JIT in services, all the techniques used in manufacturing are used in service industry also. Level the facility layout and eliminate disruptions and unnecessary activities. Reorganize physical configuration and develop supplier networks, and this will minimize WIP. Work in process inventory is also reduced. All the techniques used in manufacturing are used in service industry. We repeat it. Make the system flexible, reduce setup and load times, eliminate waste, simplify the process and organize problem solving groups, and finally upgrade quality. JIT implementation. Use JIT to finely tune an operating system different in different countries and have your own as per your own culture, as per your own problems. And JIT is still evolving. JIT is not for everyone. Where the will is there, only there we can implement JIT. Quality problems are also solved through JIT. Elements of JIT, smooth flow of work, the ultimate goal, elimination of waste, continuous improvement, eliminating anything that does not add value, simple systems that are easy to manage, use of product layouts to minimize moving materials and parts, quality at source, elements of JIT, POCA, yoke, preventive maintenance, good housekeeping, setup time reduction, cross-trained employees and a pull system. Attributes of lean producers. Use JIT to eliminate virtually all inventory. They build systems to help employees produce a perfect part every time. They reduce space requirements. They develop close relationship with suppliers and they educate suppliers. They eliminate all but value added activities. They develop the workforce. They make jobs more challenging. They reduce the number of job classes and build worker flexibility. JIT2 is another form of JIT. JIT2, a supplier representative works right in the company's plant, making sure there is an appropriate supply on hand. Here we discuss the importance to be given to the supplier. JIT2 means supplier representative is also working in the organization. He is not on the roles of the organization, but he is on the roles of the supplier, but he works at the shop floor in procuring the items required by the shop floor people, and this is JIT2. It is one of the forms of JIT. JIT2, in some instances, companies allow restocking of inventories obtained from suppliers. A supplier representative works right in the company's plant, making sure there is an appropriate supply on hand. JIT2 is a variant to the regular JIT in which the relationship with the supplier is even stronger or better than with the original JIT. With JIT2, there is an employee of the supplier in-house with the customer. This employee is on the payroll of the supplier, but works for the customer. The employee keeps an eye on the stock and orders products, supplies as necessary. I must add here, anything extra procured which is not required in the plant after completing the production is taken back by the supplier through this representative who is working at the shop floor. The term JIT2 is used to refer to this practice. JIT-2 was popularized by the Bose Corporation. It is often referred to as vendor managed inventory. Vendor managed inventory VMI system. Just in time has a revamped its processes and produced JIT-2. JIT-2 places more responsibility with the suppliers for functions such as forecasting, usage, ordering, replenishments and building the organization. JIT-2 systems are frequently implemented in client server environments where multiple servers have access to a database utilizing structural query language SQL. JIT-2 provides the potential to reduce inventories, eliminate redundant purchasing agents and get cost saving tips from having suppliers familiar with their business. The retailing industry denotes this as ECR, efficient consumer response. Risks. JIT-2 system is inherently risky because it relies heavily on the supplier. Cost saving may not be realized if suppliers do not synchronize their deliveries with demand. Suppliers may attempt to serve more customers than they can accommodate. Suppliers may fail to make needed improvements. It can be difficult to sever a relationship that no longer works. So, supplier is given the utmost importance in JIT-2. Frequently controls disappear in JIT-2 such as approval of purchase requisition, no longer receive purchase requisition, receiving no longer inspects incoming merchandise. Traditional paper trail ceases to exist and reduced separation of duties. So, some things may be avoided when JIT-2 is implemented. Many of the risks may have the ability to be corrected if queried and monitored correctly by management and operational personnel. The risks mentioned here are addressed in the table, and risks are risk versus monitor control. Stockouts is one of the risks, risk with the greatest potential impact on production, and it can be monitored. Controlling for this risk requires determining which items from which supplier have been out of stock or nearly so. Overstocks, suppliers can abuse their ordering privileges by over ordering inventory items, and controls can be quantity on hand is greater than 2 times average daily usage. Defective items, inspection and testing costs are increased, and the monitor is query number of defectives produced or products per supplier, and then overpriced. When suppliers secure contracts, they may take advantage of these relationships by becoming less price competitive, and the control is compare the current suppliers prices with competitors prices weighted by quantities of the items received. So, these are the risks, and these can be monitored and controlled also. Implementation. If a company recognizes the risks involved and still has an interest in JIT-2, there are 4 steps to a successful implementation. The step number 1, design. Management must recognize at the initial stage that primary responsibility for ensuring that suppliers adhere to their agreements lie with them. Operating personnel should participate with management in the design phase because they will be working with the queries that the system produces. This is step number 1. Step number 2, data access. The next step involves working with the company's information systems provider to detail the collection and access of the data. Data should always be correct, and that data should be analyzed. Step number 3, query development and maintenance. If operating personnel are to participate in the construction of the queries, they will need training. The operating personnel will envision new queries as they become more familiar with the process and with JIT-2. Step number 4, results monitoring. The responsibility for daily and weekly monitoring of the queries will likely be vested with the operating personnel. The query results will be sent electronically to the personnel, and if not resolved within a specified time frame, the next level of supervision will receive the queries. So, such is the case, and we can have successful implementation of JIT 2 also. Operations strategy. The JIT lean operations offer new perspectives on operations that must be given serious consideration by managers in repetitive systems who wish to be competitive. Operations strategy. Potential adopters should carefully study the requirements and benefits of lean production system as well as the difficulties and strengths of their current systems before making a decision on whether to convert. Careful estimates of time and cost to convert and an assessment at how likely workers, managers and suppliers are to cooperate in such an approach are essential. And we are talking about operation strategy. The decision to convert can be sequential, giving management an opportunity to gain first-hand experience with portions of JIT or lean operations without wholly committing themselves. For instance, improving vendor relations, reducing setup time, improving quality and reducing waste and inefficiency. We can withdraw ourselves at any time. That is the basic concept under this strategy. For instance, improving vendor relationship, reducing setup time, improving quality and reducing waste and inefficiency can be withdrawn at any time. Operation strategy, again, are desirable goals. Whatever we have discussed so far, these are the desirable goals in themselves. Moreover, level production schedule is necessary element of a JIT system, and achieving that will also be useful under traditional system of operations. It is prudent to carefully weigh the risks and benefits of a just-in-time approach to inventories. A just-in-time approach can make companies and even countries vulnerable to disruptions in the supply chains. For example, low stock piles of flu vaccine at hospitals lower their cost but leave the health system at risk if there is a flu outbreak in certain cases. Also, severe weather such as hurricanes, floods and tornadoes and other natural disasters caused by earthquakes can cut off supply routes, leaving community services as well as companies desperately in need of supplies. So, we have to take care of these also while implementing JIT. Supplier management is critical to a JIT operation. Generally, supplies are located nearby to facilitate delivery on a daily or even hourly basis. Moreover, suppliers at every stage must gauge the ability of their production facilities to meet demand requirements that are subject to change. JIT and lean management. JIT can be divided into two terms. Again, we are discussing the different forms of JIT. Now, we will discuss the big JIT and the little JIT. The big JIT, also called lean management, is a philosophy of operations management that seeks to eliminate waste in all aspects of a firm's production activities, human relations, vendor relations, technology and the management of materials and inventory. On the other hand, little JIT focuses more narrowly on scheduling goods inventory and providing service resources where and when needed, and this is the difference between big JIT and the little JIT. Big JIT and little JIT, the terms big JIT and little JIT are used to differentiate attempts to eliminate waste in operations. Big JIT focuses on vendor relationships, human relationships, technology management and materials and inventory management. Little JIT is more narrowly focused on scheduling, materials and services for operations. Big versus little JIT. Big JIT broad focus is on vendor relations, human relations, technology management and materials and inventory management. On the other hand, little JIT narrow focus is on scheduling materials and scheduling service of production. That's all for today. I think I am able to make the things clear to all my viewers. I decided to go about telling the viewers the different forms of JIT. I started with success factors of JIT. I even repeated the meaning of JIT, lean manufacturing, lean operations. Then we discussed JIT and its different forms, JIT, JIT2, big JIT and little JIT. I hope the viewers are able to understand the concept and the meaning of JIT, and now they know that what are the things which are required and what are the things which are to be given utmost importance while implementing JIT. We also discussed the transitional process for going from traditional process to the JIT process and what are the areas one should take care of. I hope the things are now made clear to the viewers. They will be able to implement JIT in their own organizations and they will be able to get the maximum benefits out of implementing JIT. Thank you so much.
With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for giving in-depth knowledge about JIT, and so far we have conducted numerous lectures on JIT. Dear friends, if you want to access these lectures, you can definitely watch these lectures which are uploaded on YouTube, especially for you, so that it becomes easier for you to study the material in depth. And with this note, we take your leave. But if you have any queries or if you want to give your feedback regarding this particular lecture, then you can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. We would be coming back again in our next session with Dr. Subhash Kakkar and would be studying some more new topics. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.